Hey, what is going on? This is your stimulus check updated information. So are more stimulus checks going to be going out to everybody? That is the big question that everybody has right now. They're wondering, when are the next big round of stimulus checks? Well, in the House of Representatives in Congress, Nancy Pelosi has a giant $3.5 trillion, it's a budget plan that's going to try to extend government out over the course, I don't know, the next 10 years. They have to raise the debt ceiling in order to borrow and print more money. But she's going to try to put this giant budget bill through Congress, trying to get them voted on so then President Biden signs it. Now, inside of this $3.5 trillion budget plan is possibly going to be some extensions out of a lot of the stimulus that's happening right now. Now, with those big extensions could be a lot more money for people that have dependents. Also, possibly could be a fourth stimulus check. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of talk of getting a reoccurring payment out to everybody, because people that do have children, they could get a payment right now, but those of you that don't have children, they need some type of support. And so it looks like they might be sneaking this into the giant $3.5 trillion budget plan with the American Families Plan that President Biden is trying to push forth. Also, there's more states that are stepping up and sending out stimulus checks, and it looks like a lot of the checks are going out for about 600,000 people this week, plus the Treasury is sending out more plus-up payments, bonus payments to everybody. And I'll show you how you can actually get your first two checks if you missed that. So let me cover a lot of those details in this video for you. So there are a couple more states that are actually going to be sending out stimulus checks. This is on top of the federal stimulus checks that go out on the 14th. Texas is going to be sending out $2,000 payments in the state or in the city of Irvine to try to entice teachers to go back to work. A lot of these states are sending out checks to just educators, and to me, I don't really understand why it's targeted for teachers. I get it, teachers were on the front line, they're trying to pay them back, but it seems to me that there's a lot of more people in these states that do need support. Tennessee, $1,000 checks are going out to teachers. Michigan, $500 hazard pay to teachers. Georgia sent out $1,000 checks to a lot of people in that state for education. And then Florida is doing something a little bit more. They're going to be sending out checks to teachers, but also frontline workers, EMT, police, firemen. They're also going to be receiving a $1,000 check. New York, a $2.1 billion fund is going to be set up for undocumented workers to get more stimulus to them. New Mexico, this is going to be people that didn't qualify for the federal stimulus payments are going to be getting a $740 check in the state of New Mexico. Also in Maryland, $500 for families, $300 for individuals. These are people that filed the earned income tax credit. Colorado, $375 to those that received at least one unemployment payment between those certain dates right there. So Colorado is going to be doing that. Now, also, I think some of the other states are going to be looking at what these states are doing, and they're going to turn around and maybe possibly get some more stimulus out to everybody. Inside of the American Rescue Plan, President Biden threw $380 billion to all the states. So every state received kind of a bigger, like Texas received probably $35 billion. New Mexico only received $1.8 billion. It depends on the population. With the population, obviously more money was sent out to those states. So every governor in the state has a giant treasury of federal funds from the stimulus plan that they can turn around if they wanted to and send out stimulus to people. But right now, it looks like those states are the only ones right now stimulus payments. So right now, the Treasury is sending out plus-up payments. If people go to the Treasury website and they go to the free filers tool, and they file their returns for 2020, then the Treasury is going to look at the data that you send in. If you added a dependent, they'll just send you out a bonus payment. If you had a good year in 2019 as far as adjusted gross income, and 2019 you did not, then they'll give you a plus-up payment. They'll send that stimulus check to you for those plus-up payments. Now, if you haven't done so already, there is a section in there called Recovery Rebate Credit. This section allows you to pick up the first and second check if you didn't receive them, so you can get that. Also, if you went into the Get My Portal payment tool and you saw that they sent out a check to you, maybe they mailed it to you and you never received it, there is a way that you can go and you can trace that. You have to go and there's a form that you have to fill out in order to get that payment sent in. There was talk of a 800 number that you can call, but I've found that people have tried to call that number, try to get a trace on the check, and it's just been taken forever. So you definitely should go to the Treasury website, get the data on that. There is a form that you can fill out to get that check traced, try to find out where it went to, what if it was lost, if it was stolen, whatever it is, you can trace it, and they'll try to resend you out a stimulus check. The child tax credit, everybody that has children under the age of 6 gets $3,600. Pretty big payment. And what they're going to do is they're going to take half of that, divide that up over 6 months, and give you a check for $300 for that dependent. And then anybody that has children over the age of 6 to 17, you get a $3,000 total and a $250 monthly check every month on the 15th up until December, and then they give you the rest of it the following they give you the rest of it basically in the year 2022 of March. Now, inside of this American Jobs Plan, it's going to be this infrastructure plan. This is something that President Biden is talking about, the Build Back Better agenda. He wants to have the American Jobs Plan where they put a bunch of money into infrastructure, and then the American Families Plan possibly will be inside of this $3.5 trillion reconciliation package that Nancy Pelosi has set up. I think they've passed it in the House, has to go over to the Senate, and the Senate has to vote on it also. But the $1 trillion infrastructure plan, the Senate needs to pass the $3.5 trillion budget plan, and then the $1 trillion plan goes back to the House. They have to vote on it. So then it's a total of like close to $5 trillion of spending that the government wants to set up and get things done. Monthly payments possibly could be a $2,000 check. There's a big petition right now. There's about 3 million signatures of people that are trying to get this monthly payment set up. This would be different than the actual child tax credit. Totally different. This is just a petition that they're trying to get signed. They're trying to get people to sign this so they can put a lot of pressure on Congress to get more payments out. Now, moving forward, if they do get the American Families Plan passed in this budget plan, they're possibly going to try to extend out the child tax credit through the year 2025. They might be trying to raise the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. It's going to put a lot of pressure on small businesses, but that's something that they're going to try to bump that hike up. A lot of the bigger businesses like Amazon and Walmart and places like that, they can afford to handle the $15 minimum wage. But a lot of smaller businesses, it's hard for them to pay out that payment just because of the fact that you get a lot of kids in high school that really don't need to get $15 an hour. They can get lower $7 an hour, but it will put a lot of pressure on businesses to support those. I mean, it's easy for a lot of people to say, well, it should be $25 or $30, but you have to figure out these businesses, they still need to be able to support themselves, buying product, buying the services, whatever it is. They still need to be able to earn a profit on, if they buy a product, they need to earn a profit on that in order to take that profit, pay out their employees, and buy more products with that profits. One of the things that was not mentioned with a lot of the videos that are out there is this $50 million per state for the Homeowners Assistance Fund. There is a I believe it's the government website, your local city for housing. Okay, so if the housing department in your city, the government housing program, you got to reach out to them and let them know that you did have a hardship. So it says to qualify for payment, a homeowner must have experienced a financial hardship after January 21 of 2020. So anything after that, if you can show that you had a financial hardship, then this homeowners assistance funds will help you with mortgages, delinquencies, and defaults. I think there's also a $46 billion fund for people that are renting that have some issues. Also, the same housing government agency will handle the renters and the homeowners for the mortgage delinquencies. It was like $46 billion that was sent out to cities for these different programs. Hopefully these cities will not take that money and go use it for other stuff. They'll actually take it and help people that need it the most as far as mortgages and delinquencies. So right now it's good news for California. If you're living in California, it's really the only state that is sending out stimulus checks. $600 stimulus checks to those in California. There's about 2/3 of the people in California that did file their returns with the Franchise Tax Board are going to be getting that $600 payment, plus $500 payment for dependents. Now, one of the things in California they've done differently is that, yes, you do have to have a social security number in order to get it paid, but they are allowing people with ITIN numbers. That's a lot different. So if you are undocumented, if you're not even an American citizen, and you do file your ITIN number, you can pick up a stimulus check in that state. So if you're in the state of California and you live there, good news, you're going to be getting a stimulus check sent out to you. Hey, so if you have any questions about stimulus, when more stimulus is going to be coming out, drop those questions in the comments below. This is your daily stimulus check update information for today.